welcome back to our continuing adventures on the CyberDefenders platform. Today we are tackling Lead Sauce, or the forensics exercise from GERCON 2013, if memory serves me right. So we are given, everyone has heard of targeted attacks. Detecting these can be challenging. Responding to these can be even more challenging. This scenario will test your network and host-based analysis skills to figure out the who, what, where, when, and how of this incident. There's sure to be something for all skill levels, and the only thing you need to do is solve the challenge is some lead sauce. So we are given from the zip file that we pulled down a ghercon.pcapng, a iralert.png, and an Ubuntu 10-4 folder, which looks like it contains a VMware suspended virtual machine state file, or VMSS file. There's also a dirweb svr.zip zip file, which contains a server and a module.dwarf. We'll see how this comes into play. Recommended tools through all this. Volatility, Wireshark, Network Miner, and Brim Security. And I've got most of those except for volatility. That I will probably, depending as to how much it wants through that, this might be broken up into 2 videos. Because we are looking at 21 questions to go through and answer, which I can't imagine is going to be too difficult. No famous last words and all. Okay, so let's get started. PCAP. Development.wse.local is a critical asset for the Wayne and Stark Enterprises, where the company stores new top-secret designs on weapons. John Smith has access to the website, and we believe it may have been compromised according to the IDS alert we received earlier today. First, determine the public IP address of the web server. Well, I suppose what I probably would want to do is add the IR alert to be able to actually show that, so we can all be on the same exact page. So let me see if I can't get that up and in. Okay, transition that in, and bing bang boom. So we are looking at, what are we looking at? I mean, realistically. Since we've got a payload, we have a references to Zeus. We got a source, destination, port, sequential ACK, checksum, Trojan activity for the signature information, and apparently 172.16.0.109, going to a destination of 74.125.225.112. So, outside of this, why don't we do a little bit of hunting first and foremost before. So 74.125.225.112, and yes, I realize I have the IR alert in front. I am just, oh, it's a Google IP address that it's complaining about. Which I guess makes sense considering the fact that if you look at the payload, third line from the bottom, host, www.google.com. Which makes me kind of wonder as to whether or not if maybe, possibly, it was basically just a created signature for the particular exercise. But we'll check some rep. Yeah, Google servers. I mean, they very well could have been compromised at one point. I mean, it's Google. It has happened before. Was it Operation Aurora? It was, what, Google, like Dowchem, Yahoo, bunch of different organizations, I think, got hit by that. But, okay, so let's not dwell too far into that particular aspect. So, we are going to take that down, and we need to do some PCAP analysis, which is fine and dandy. But instead of what we might potentially expect of opening the BCAP up in Wireshark and attempting to go from there, I am simply going to dump that. Oh, I'm going to dump the file. I'm going to open up the PCAP-ng off screen, and then I'm just going to save it as a PCAP because the tool in question, Network Miner, unless you pay for the professional version, you cannot go through and do that. So that's exactly what we have done here. And then we are looking for development. .wse.local. But wait, that one's the public? Not the private. So the private or internal would be 172.16.0.108, which, no, that wasn't the server that was flagging in the alert. That was 109. So what is 109? I know, we're kind of just differentiating a little bit. Oh, it's a Windows box. Of course, it's always the Windows box that's popped. Oh, okay. So let's see. So let's grab that 74.204.41.73. And then what we'll do is we will transition this back and we'll see if we get this right. We do. Network Miner makes this easy. This is also an aspect in terms of slowing down in order to figure these particular aspects out, because had I decided to just kind of rip through this as opposed to kind of taking my time and explaining the thought process, I more than likely would have tried the internal address for that particular box of the 172.16.0.108. So, okay, so we're moving on. PCAP, again. All right. Now we need you to determine a starting point for the timeline that will be useful in mapping out the incident. We need... Okay, well, that's fine. I have PCAP. May want to know packet 1. Let's see. The arrival time. Okay. So let me move Network Miner out of the way, and let me set this one up for Wireshark and the PCAP. Open that up, and bing, bang, boom. Okay, so their aspect is they want the arrival time, which is fine. So we make sure we have our arrival. We're looking underneath the... I just upgraded to 402 for Wireshark, and apparently it decided to change as to how the stuff was aligned, but that's fine. So we're taking a look at the frame portion, and we're going down, and we see arrival time. So from the very top, that would be 5 lines down. So That dictates September 10, 2003, 1751:07. Except this is Central Daylight Time. And they want UTC. So we need to find a CDT to UTC converter. Although I think it's technically 8 hours ahead, I think. No. Okay, so it's 6 hours ahead. So if we were to convert this, we can specify a time, can't we? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Okay, let's time warp back to 2013. Never figured I'd actually say that. Here we go, September 10th, and it's just like bing, bang, boom. Okay, now we select our time, and our time is 17:51. So converting from the 24-hour format, we would subtract 12, which would make it in the AM/PM format 5:51:07. So UTC would make that 10. Again, adding the 12 to convert it back to the 24-hour format would make it 22. So our answer should be, given that, 22:51:07. Now, let's see as to whether or not if I'm on the... I never transitioned, did I? Okay, quickly. So as you can see right here. So we make sure frame 1. From frame 1, we break it down to arrival time, and thankfully it notes that it is Central Daylight Time, or CDT. And that's where we get the, okay, September 10th, 2013, 17:51:07. And then, of course, we do the conversion, which makes it 22:51:07. Maybe. I guess we're going to find out. 22:51:07 space UTC. There we go. What version number of PHP is the development WSE local server running? So I am just quickly taking a look to see as to whether or not if I can pull any of that from here. Well, or version number of the Apache. Okay, Apache, I'm fairly certain we can pull up fairly easily in Network Miner. Is it host details? We might be able to get it from there too. Maybe. What are we doing? Oh wait, no, it's the Windows box. Whoops. So it's interesting that they end it in 2. Oh, that's PHP. Whoops. Sorry. Okay, so looking at this, so we can see from the server banner, they are running for we're going to skip question 3. We're going to go straight to question 4. So they want to know what version of Apache. So again, we find the development WSC local. We break it down to host details. And web server banner tells us it is Apache 2.2.14. So let's take that piece of information, put that into question 4, 2.2.14. There we go. 3 questions out of 21 answered. Okay, now we need to figure out the PHP version. That's easier said than done, partially, I believe. I don't think I can get that from Network Miner. Although I might have to go through and take a look at some of the various entries. Unless we can tell it by open ports? No, because it's all going to be on 80 or 443 depending. So that's not going to tell us a whole heck of a lot. All right, I'm going to pause to swing back. Okay, so looking through it, I happen to notice that it looks like it is doing, I believe, WordPress by looking at the files in question, because there's a wp-logon.php, which typically WP being WordPress. So taking a look at the parameters and then narrowing it down for the development server system gives us all this. So now we're starting to see response codes that go back to the source of being the development.wsc.local or 172.16.0.108. And if we go through and dig, we see, okay, we get 200, we get roughly about the same time. Oh, okay, it's noticing what we already observed for question 4 about version of Apache. Very next line, X powered by PHP 5.3.2-1 Ubuntu 4.20. And of course we get the X ping back, the very next item, development.wsc.local. Exactly what we were looking for. Just, it's been a little while since I've used Network Miner. So, the answer should be 5.3.2. There we go. Network Miner for the win. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you want to sit there and dig through, you could probably find this particular entry inside of Wireshark, follow the TCP stream, and it would probably give you all the same exact. Okay, so we move back in. Okay, it wants IR again, so we need to take a look at what it detects. So question 5, IR. What is the common name of the malware reported by the IDS alert? So let me bring the IDS back up. And if we take a look at references, type URL value, secureworks.com/research/threats/Zeus/?threat equals Zeus. How much you want to bet it's Zeus? Added to the fact that the format that they give us is indeed a 4-letter answer. And I mean, my math, I can still count. So I'm fairly certain we got ourselves here Zeus. Yep. Okay, and we're back to PCAP again. Please identify the gateway IP address of the LAN because the infrastructure team reported a potential problem with the IDS server that could have corrupted the PCAP. So we need to find the gateway, the way of the gate. Well, in typical fashion, it would be .1. Typically. Oh, and it kind of confirms that because it ends in .1. But let me show you what I'm looking at. So, okay, underneath Network Miner, we go back to hosts and we take a look for other items that are inside of the 172.16.0 dot whatever range. And so, I mean, we can take a look at this and just kind of break this down a little bit more. So we see through here that we've got the broadcast 255.255. We've got the Windows box at 109. We've got the development WSC.local at 108. We have whatever WSC, okay, it's probably the AD server by looking at that, at .3, leaving the only other device detected at .1. No host name. But it seems to think that it's probable. Windows box? Interesting. Was there any host details? Yeah, best as I can tell. Okay, so let's transition and let's put this in here. 172.16.0.1. Okay. Okay, and we'll move on to 7. IR. According to the IDS alert, the Zeus bot attempted to ping an external website to verify connectivity. What was the IP address of the website pinged? Well, the IDS denotes that it was the Windows host. That it went through and did the ping-a-ling-a-ling. Right, I'm not just talking out my butt on that one, right? Yeah. 172.16.0.109. Denoted in the upper left-hand corner for IP header information. Source 172.16.0.109. And so what we need to do is find out, let's see, because this alert is basically web traffic, not ping. So we're looking for ICMP traffic. So let's get the IR alert off and we'll bring Wireshark up. And so what I have done is just basically specified ICMP because we are taking it literal. That it attempted to ping something. But yet, the problem is I don't see anything from the source of 172.16.0.109 that this detection is supposed to be for. All I see is basically ping back and forth from 108 to .1. So let's do this. What if it's a version 6? Okay, well that solved that one. It's definitely not a version 6 because there is no version 6 traffic. Oh. Okay, then I think what we have to do is we will have to take them as not on the literal ping or ICMP packet being sent because there's nothing here. This is a dry hole, if you will. So then since it specifies IR, let's take a closer look. So if I had to guess, because, okay, we get the payload, but it's basically just doing a GET that goes to google.com. Which, okay, let's just go off the alert. 74.2 or 125.225.112. Again, literally just working off the alert. I know it's not an ICMP packet because there is nothing that was recorded. So let's see. Okay, so we have to take them figuratively, not literally, in this particular case. See, I wouldn't say that the website was pinged, but okay, and we go back to the PCAP. It's critical to the infrastructure team to identify the Zeus botnet CNC server IP address so they can block communication in the firewall as soon as possible. Please provide the IP. Okay, so let's take a look at the items for so we are looking at the supposedly infected Windows host, the 172.16.0.109. And we don't have a host name on this. That's odd. Well, they did say that it's possible that there was corruption to the PCAP capture, so maybe the host name just got wiped. I don't know. So we are looking for the IP address of the C2 traffic for Zeus. It supposedly will fit the format of two digits dot 3 digits dot 1 digit dot 2 digit digits. And no, I am not drunk. I am not high. I just could probably stand more coffee. Or actually getting off my butt, going and actually having breakfast. I haven't eaten jack crap today. So if I had to guess that would fit the format, 88.198.6.20. So, okay, we took a look at the virus total, or looked up that Google IP just to see, because it flagged in there. So what if we did the IP address that I'm thinking this is probably it. Maybe. Possibly. IBM threat exchange. Looking for at least maybe even old hits. I mean, obviously, considering the fact that we're talking about results that are what, 7, 9 years old by this particular point. So yeah, if they haven't cleaned up their game by now, then I mean they got problems. Nothing that's basically tied to any of this stuff. And I realize, yes, I have not. Let me bring this down. Okay, so we are making the assumption that it's going to be the 88.198.6.20, just because of the fact that it is doing over port 80 and it does not have an actual domain name associated with it. And by the same token, I could be very, very wrong. But we are making an assumption in this particular case, and we're looking outside of this for relevant and collaborating information, or cooperating, blah, 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 blah. Okay, URL house has nothing. IBM X-Force. It does. Look at that. We got botnet comms. It looks like they nuked it in October of 2013. Okay, so this goes with it. No pulse or anything else like that. History, yeah, there's not much here. Files referring to gurkhan.pcap. I wonder if it's this one right here. This exercise that we're doing. But if we take a look, so 3 communicating files. I wonder if any of these would call back as Zeus. Well, let's take a look at the other aspect too. What I have not brought into this. That's because the other aspect that they denoted was, hey, you could use Brim too to assist with this as a tool. So let's take a look. So let's see, violation, network Trojan detected, command and control. So can I just, it has been a while since I've used this. Give me a new search with, okay, that works too. Malware command and control activity detected by, what is this, Suricata, I think? Yeah, Suricata alerts by categories, what we pivoted off of. And we get the hit at 2254 for the Google checking, so that's 74.125.225.112 from the previous question in regards to what's the IP address of the website that was pinged. So then what we're seeing past that point is, again, to that same IP address, the 88.196.620 over port 80, and it is being detected as Zeus post request to C2. Okay, we found some collaborating information here. Collaborating? Dear God, I need more coffee. Submit. All right. I love the fact that we're starting with the IR and PCAP aspects before we have. When do we get into the volatility? That's what the last going to be, or last bits. So, and I've already recorded 36 minutes. So yeah, I am probably going to break this up into a part 1 and a part 2. And the second part will center around the volatility, just out of the concern for time. Okay, infrastructure team. So we're moving on to 9 then. Yep. Okay, PCAP. The infrastructure team also requests. Oh, yeah, I didn't have that in there, so there you go. Confirmation that yes, it is 88.198.6.20 for the reasons to in which we were able to go through and double check. So OSINT sources out on the internet, and then basically taking that PCAP and running it through Brim, which is now going to be called ZUI with the new or next release, I guess. But whatever. It's the infrastructure request that you identify the file name of the .bin configuration file that the ZooSpot downloaded right after the infection. Can you provide the file name? Sure. Maybe. Maybe. Okay. Yes, I realize. Okay, so we're back to Network Miner, and we are underneath files, and I have set a search for .bin, because obviously we are looking for a bin file. And specifically, we are also looking for something from the 88 IP. Down at the bottom. And it occurs to me that this is not showing up either. So can I bring this up? And then on top. Yes, yes, I can. All right. Oops. See about pumping up the size here for the font, because it's looking pretty bad. Okay, so we have cf.bin. And just a bunch of stuff. It really doesn't mean much of anything to me. A bunch of question marks and the like through the actual portion. But, we do have what we need. That being cf.bin. All right, PCAP. No other users access the development.wsc.local WordPress site during the timeline of the incident, and the reports indicate that an account successfully logged in from the external interface. Please provide the password they used to log in. So we will go back to Network Miner, and we will go underneath the Credentials tab. And we're looking for, excuse me. We want the password for J. Smith, and they are nice enough to give us the beginning aspect that it is W, or starts with W. Looking at this, I don't see anything that starts with, so we might actually have to go and dig more into this. We got root, we got password 66HX, but that's not what we are realistically looking for. Hello. Log JSmith, and we're a parameter value for PWD equals lowercase w capital M 812 lowercase UGU. Copy parameter value. Transition back here. Submit. Bing, bang, boom. Okay. PCAP. After reporting that the WordPress page was indeed accessed from an external connection, your boss comes to you in a rage over the potential loss of confidential top secret documents. Yeah, it sounds about right. Mostly because of the fact that I'm sure that the boss's posterior was just chewed out by the level above them, which was probably then, or firstly chewed out by the level above them, and so on until basically you hit the highest level. Calms down enough to admit that the designs page has a separate access code outside to ensure the security of their information. Before storming off, he provided the password to the designs page. 1QBEJ2AZ, and told you to find a timestamp of the access time or you'll be fired. Please provide the time of the accessed designs page. Okay, so we're looking through everything for a 1QU. I don't suppose it would be as easy as, again, just looking for something that would match. Well, so I guess first and foremost, we would probably want to see just about anything if we can find. Send it around designs, and then go from that particular point. And we can worry about trying to build out a or kind of look around the surrounding area after that particular point. So let's do this. Again, back to network miner. And underneath parameters, just digging through this, looking. So we've got more stuff for the development. But we have WordPress. Copy parameter name. Is that? Oh, it could be base 64. No, maybe not. Let's see, matching ops. Decode net BIOS name from base 64, from base 85, from hex dump. So let's see, from hex and then from hex dump. And we'll see as to whether or not if any of this works. And I realize, yes, I am not showing. It doesn't change anything, so I was hoping that maybe that might be the key that we're looking for, but it doesn't look like that translates over. But I am noticing R03 seems to be R03, and we're getting images. Refer coming from the blog. And we need a timestamp. Oh, hello. Okay, it's there. It was sitting right in front. So wait, why did this not? Yeah, so it set it, and then I don't suppose we got a timestamp, and it's in UTC too. Okay, so I'm going to assume it's going to be the first, because that's the first hit for it. I mean, failing that, we've always got the next step, which is 230404. But that's the first rendition of that particular password. So we're going to take the 225335 and we will see if that is our smoking gun in this particular aspect. 225635 UTC. It is not. Okay, so then it is the next section that has the multiple or much more entries. So 230404. Yep, okay. Which I suppose makes sense to a degree. Yeah, so they tried it at that particular time, but apparently from the... Oh, so apparently they must have known the password because they've sprayed it. I mean, they shot that 1QBEJ2AZ from the compromised Windows box to the development WSC local. And then apparently we see the .1, so supposedly the gateway, use it against the development.wsc, and then the rest of the comms are back and forth between that supposed gateway at .1 and the development WSC. Let me bring that back up to basically just show. So, okay, they tried it from the Windows host to that particular box, and that was the first two sections. And that, no. But apparently then we see the .1 trying it against the same host, the development WSE. They go back, and then again, it's just all within that same particular portion. So obviously it was a successful login at that particular aspect, and there's more comms. Okay, and we're going back to this. What is the source port number in the shellcode exploit? Destination port was 31708. I suppose we're going to be so lucky as to be able to. Three one seven oh eight. Yeah, not much of anything seems to really contain 31708 in order to pull that crap together. I suppose we have any. I'm just right now digging through to take a look to see if I can find anything else that stands out. Because now the question is, we've got all this. Well, I don't suppose like Nmap would potentially tell us. Oh, what is it? DST? Oh. All right, let's pause. Okay, took me a second to remember the Wireshark display filters. So effectively just try to sit there and dig through the whole thing because one, I don't know as to whether or not if this is TCP or UDP communication, so I just did both. So TCP.DST port space equals space 31708 space vertical line space UDP.DST port space equals space 31708. And that gives us what, several different packets to choose from all the way through the line, and it looks like, no, let's see, that's the ICMP. Okay, and it looks like it's UDP. Looking at all this stuff, so it looks like we want to try to find the source port. So destination port 31708, which is what we had to look at, we see 37 or 39708. 39708. 39708. And it seems to be a consistent back and forth. So 39708. $709, excuse me. Yeah, maybe I should probably. How much more do I have until? Okay, yeah. I'll try to keep everything together for another couple of questions until we hit the volatility aspect, because I think I'm just hungry. But okay, what was the Linux kernel version returned from the interpreter sysinfo command run by the attacker? Something something. I don't suppose we'd get that in. No, that wouldn't. No, those are just sessions. So what about parameters? So can I take what we have and learn from it? Apparently not. can't use sysinfo in that to actually get anything. And yes, I realize I have not kicked anything over because I'm just, realistically, I should have probably just paused and played with this. I am basically just digging through to take a look at the various parameters as specified to see if I can find anything that matches with the something 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 server at the end. And we're looking for something that would denote what? Kernel version? Yeah. Nope, that's that's searching on the parameter name. What about parameter value? Server hello. Okay, so yeah. I don't know. I am honestly at a loss. Ooh, ooh, we got something. Let me kick this back over. Because I realize I'm not sharing. Okay, so we're looking for interpreter sysinfo command run by the attacker. So I decided to add a keyword for sysinfo, reloaded the case files, and bing, bang, boom, we end up with a bunch of different results I'd like to take a look at. So we have frame info, but I can't seem to extend it much else out besides there, and that might have just been a waste of time. Oh, we got results. First time I got any sort of results off of all that. Ah, well, bugger all. Let's take a look at the frame numbers, though. Maybe we get help with something. So it looks like that's something else we can take a look at. So can I... 4003... So let's try that. 4003 frame number. Apply? Nothing there? No. All right. So we are doing this by frame number then. So let's just manually look to see as to whether or not if we get anything there. No. We don't see anything until 4195, at least for parameters. So yeah, I'm not going to expect a whole hell of a lot. Yeah. But we have at least some sort of result from all that. So let's do this. Let's pivot. we've used one tool. But let's now move over to a second. Take a look and see what we can get. I don't see anything wrong with that. We've gone through and we have the... I'm going to keep that off to the side so I can take a look at that as we can compare then. Okay, so let's see, Wireshark. Okay, Wireshark open. And so let's see, we see 4003, 4004. So we have SMPP. Let's do a follow TCP stream. Okay, let me now change the window again so you can follow the stream with me. Okay, so we're looking at, so this is, it looks like that's the output. So this must have been the interpreter portion through all that to pull sysinfo. It's okay, it wants all that to exist, so then obviously we want the other way, because we want to take a look and see what we get. Core lib, process kill, TCP shutdown, sysinfo, hello. Okay, you know, that sometimes I guess takes a combination of tools. Or I suppose, I guess if you're really, 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 really good with Wireshark. So it looks like 263238-server. Okay. So let's close these. And let's bring back up our... Okay, so 2:6:32-38-server. All right. What is the value of the token passed in frame 3897? Oh, well, bloody hell. So let's just go ahead and so we got Wireshark open. Let's go and find 3897. And so we take a look at that, and it is, looks like username and password, right? 3897, correct? I'm not just way out of line on that? No. What is the value of the token that was passed? Oh. Here, let me give the expanded. So there we go. Form item token, PMA username, PMA password. I just want the value. So the B7AAD621DB97D56771D 631 blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, and I guess if I'd paid a little bit closer attention too by that same portion, I would have noticed that it started with that, but I did not, alas. PCAP. What was the tool that was used to download a compressed file from the web server? Oh, flippin' yay. Trying to figure out how in my head am I going to answer this particular aspect? Because, okay, it's going to be a tool, so what is it going to be? wget? Is it going to be winget? Is it going to be curl? Is it... So we're effectively looking for, like, say, user agent. And then we would need to confirm that it would be pulling from something else. So it's 4. Okay. Actually, that might actually be it. Hang on. Give me, let me bring this up. We'll transition this over. All right. So looking through parameters in Network Miner, set the parameter name for user agent, user dash agent. And it was just digging through looking for something that stands out. So, I mean, we have a bunch of Mozilla. Doesn't quite fit the particular format, but we do have a wget. And I mean, most of this stuff is, okay, token was passed at 3897, so I would be looking for something past 3897. So it looks like that's all web browser, everything else like that. So that rules out the Microsoft crypto. And the only thing that spells out past that frame number is wget version 1.13.4. Wow, I was actually just kind of joking because, I mean, there's only so many different utilities, but okay. Okay, and then what was the file name the user launched? What is the download file name the user launched? What was the file name of the download that the user launched to infect the system with ZooSpot? Is that it? It looks like it's something something.exe. Okay. I mean, it's a little bit odd. Interesting. So we should have something in here that would be an exe file. But apparently is only 2 letters or numbers or some combination there within. I mean, so I'm just basically exported out the objects list of Wireshark. And the only thing I'm seeing is the cf.bin. I mean, okay, sure, executable, except it's new design.jpeg.exe. We're looking for something that only 2 letters, numbers. Well, let's do this. Application octet stream is the only thing in the entire PCAP. So as much as I would be looking for something else, I do know that bin is something that you can sit there and upload to most like sandboxing platforms, and they will convert it back to executable. So cf.bin, no. Damn. Darn. Dang nabbit. Okay, let's take a closer look then at Wireshark. And I am basically just going through, okay, the closest thing we have then is our new design. So where that is packet 3477. And then I'm going to tell it to follow the TCP/IP stream. And we will see what shakes out from there, because I'm at a loss. So let me bring the follow the stream aspect back up. And I screwed with my portion there. Okay. So, oh geez, it looks terrible. And I can't adjust the font or anything else like that. So, okay. So we're seeing the get the new design.jpeg.exe. We're getting that a 404. Okay, so it couldn't find it. Object not found. Object not requested on this server. Send a mail to something, 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 something. Hello, the very next stream. Get BT, which would meet the requirements.exe. Except blah, 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 blah. It's definitely an executable. Starts with the magic numbers of MZ, or magic bits, bytes, whatever. Wow, that's a ginormous download right there. I know it's really not, but well, the host is the C2. So let's try it. I mean, that's seems logical. So BT submit. Booyah. Okay, and then the only thing that we have left are the memory questions. What time is it locally? Yeah, this is already an hour, almost an hour and a half. So, okay, we're going to make this into a two-parter. I will come back and do the volatility in the part 2. And yeah, so I guess I will see everybody for part 2 when we sit there and run this stuff through volatility to kind of dig up the answering the rest of these questions. So what do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. Well, I'm sure it'll take a while, especially with volatility, to run through a lot of the stuff on this system. So I will see everybody in part 2 for volatility work.